The licit and illicit drugs used by adolescents in order of decreasing frequency of use are alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamine, inhalants, sedatives, stimulants like amphetamines and hallucinogens, steroids, prescription drugs, and heroin. Licit drugs are those that would be allowed for someone that is over the age of 18 or 21. That would be alcohol and tobacco. Illicit drugs are those that require a physician's prescription, and assuming the youth doesn't have that, or those drugs that are on Schedule 1, Heated debates about marijuana use have raged for some time, how harmful it is, and whether there are legitimate medical uses for it. With the legalization of marijuana in some states, and others for medical use, there is hope that the legalization of marijuana will begin the process of decreasing the illegal trafficking and the escalating violence of the drug lords in Mexico and throughout Latin America. Cocaine comes from Colombia, and it comes in various forms. Inhaling or snorting cocaine is the most common use, but freebasing is also used. Freebase cocaine is derived from a chemical process in which the purified cocaine is crystallized, and the crystals are crushed and smoked in a heated glass pipe. Smoking freebase cocaine is quicker and a more potent rush than regular cocaine. Intravenous use of cocaine provides a fast and intensive high, but is also highly dangerous and far too often lethal. A less expensive but very potent version of cocaine, crack, became very popular in the 1980s and 1990s. It's been associated with inner-city use in impoverished areas because it's less expensive than regular cocaine. The fines and penalties associated with crack cocaine are much more severe. Many minorities argue that this is a racist policy, given that crack was more common in minority communities, whereas the powder form was more common in white communities. Methamphetamine is a highly addictive stimulant, which can be injected, smoked, or snorted. The effects last up to 8 hours, and the drug provides an initial rush, but a less intense high will last for the duration of about 8 hours. The drug increases awareness, wakefulness, and happiness, but also severe agitation and paranoia. Methamphetamine is one of the so-called club drugs. Youth will also use inhalants. There are a variety of substances, but what they all share in common is that their vapors are inhaled. Rush is available on the street and can be often found in head shops or adult bookstores. The attraction to these drugs is that immediately after inhaling them, there's a feeling of excitement, but that's often followed by disorientation and slurred speech and sleepiness. Chronic use can be associated with neurological damage and injury to the liver and kidneys. Sedatives are taken orally and depress the nervous system. They can be lethal when combined with alcohol. These substances can be easy for youth to obtain because parents sometimes have prescriptions for sleep disorders, and the youth just raid their parents' supply. There are also online prescription and pharmacy services if the youth has access to credit cards and can hide the delivery from their parents. Amphetamines have been around since the 1880s, but only became more commonplace during World War II when all the military branches used amphetamines to relieve fatigue and anxiety, especially under battle conditions. Amphetamines may be used by students studying, truck drivers to work longer hours, people attempting to lose weight, and also those that are trying to seek relief from nasal congestion. In the 1990s, MDMA or ecstasy became popular with youth culture. This is another one of the club drugs. Anabolic steroids are used by youth as well. There's some evidence that steroids can produce an effect on muscle size, and they can be taken orally, injected intramuscularly, or rubbed on the skin in the form of creams or gels. Opium is the source of heroin, morphine, and codeine. Heroin is a refined form of morphine. Overdose is a common outcome of heroin, and the use of this drug is on the increase. Its increasing use in fatalities is considered a current epidemic. A recent study from the New England Journal of Medicine found that OxyContin abuse had decreased now that the painkiller had been reformulated to make it more difficult to misuse. Many people who abuse the drug have switched now to heroin. This slide is a condensed form of what we just discussed in the past 2 slides and allows you to quickly review the information and compare the types of drugs.